righting reflex. Okay? There's 5 of them. You have optical, which is sight. You have body righting reflexes acting on the body. You have body reflexes acting on the head. You have cervical righting reflexes. And you have what's called labyrinthine. I just pushed it. Labyrinthine righting, which is what? What's the, yeah, ears. So here's the deal, okay? There's 2 reasons that your body compensates. The first one is all of these. It's literally, if you have a weakness or an injury or an imbalance that causes a hip to elevate, what's my natural tendency for my spine? What's it going to want to do?
Go the other direction.
It's going to want to tilt away, correct? Now, can I walk through life like this? Yes, I could, but will I? So what do? This shoulder will elevate to pull my head back into alignment again, to keep my head straight. Because all 5 of these are rebalancing the body to keep the brain level, to keep your eyesight even with the horizon. It's the only way that you can truly efficiently function, physically and physiologically, is for your brain, which is your CPU, I call it your CPU, right? Your central processing unit. And it's constantly guiding. It's constantly monitoring, isn't it? All these different systems in our body. Sympathetic, parasympathetic, you got all these different systems that your brain has to control all the time. What is the second reason that your body will compensate? What is the second reason your body will compensate? There's 40 points here. 40. Do you even know?
Prevent pain.
Oh, well, she cheats. She works with me. Your body compensates primarily, actually, to avoid pain. Okay?
So is the righting reflex the primary reflex that kicks in?
Yes. It is the primary process that pulls your body into as much balance as it can, even though you're out of balance. That makes sense? So it's constantly monitoring the cues or the miscues of your body as it pertains to gravity in order to adjust and pull your body back into alignment through the head. And through that process, it avoids pain. Here's one of the uniqueness aspects of when clients come to me. And this happens all the time. There isn't a week go by where I get this explanation or complaint. Somebody will go through a whole history of what they've gone through. I injured my back when I was in the 20s. I had a really messed up mid-back, but over time it went away and now I'm fine. I had a foot issue. I don't have it anymore. Got some orthotics. And I just kind of smile, because what am I going to tell them? What am I going to tell them? The body just compensated, so it layered over those injuries. It didn't really get rid of them. It didn't really address them. You didn't really heal. You just processed over them. And so as we start to unwind those layers, which is the whole philosophy of symmetry, pulling you back into alignment, what are we in essence doing? We're pulling the body back, 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 and what will happen with those people?
They'll feel pain.
They'll relive those old pains. I can't tell you how often I say, God, I haven't felt that pain in ages. Like, good. That means we're getting somewhere. That means we've stripped you down and uncovered the layer that you built over to avoid that pain. It happens all the time. It happens all the time. Here is the informal definition of a righting reflex. Whenever a body segment deviates from desired postural position, the reflexes attempt to correct these deviations through a signal relayed from a reflex mechanism that causes a muscular contraction. In other words, the brain's main priority is to rebalance the head over the pelvis in order to maintain equilibrium. That's why you'll constantly see, and we're going to go over this whole afternoon, you're going to see if this does this, this does this, this does this to keep the head over the hips. If your body does this, your upper body does this, your head comes forward to stay over your pelvis. Your brain has to always know where your pelvis is in order to maintain equilibrium. If your pelvis does this, your upper body has to do this. So there's this constant action, reaction, compensation, recompensation in order to always position the head over the pelvis. So this brings me to my next term. With physics. There's 25 points for those of you who don't know this. In physics, what do we call this? And what do we call this? Upper torso, Ramana says. Yes, very good. You get 2 points for that. In physics, what do we call this? No one?
Passenger.
You're a cheater. Passenger unit. This is called the motor unit. Why? Phaedra?
Because your legs are putting you in motion.
Say it loudly, please.
Because your legs are putting you in motion.
And what is this doing?
Going along with
It's going along for the ride, isn't it? So my upper body's not doing anything. I counterbalance with arm swing, right? But it's going along for the ride. This is doing all the work. Which is why if I am double amputated at my legs, I still live. Right? But if I'm caught up, forget it, I'm done. So your upper body really is there to keep you alive, is it not? It houses all of, what are these called in here? Your vital organs. Do you know how packed you guys are in here with all these organs? Do you think that these need space in order to breathe and work and conduct transference of minerals and water? They do, don't they? What does sitting do? Compresses everything. Why do we have disease?
Because those areas start to get compressed and not nourished.
Does disease happen in a week or over a lifetime? It's a gradual process until one day we have the symptoms of that process. I don't care what disease you tell me, it didn't happen overnight. It's something that was either neglected or unable to do in an organ because it was compromised. This is one of the best quotes that you guys will ever hear. And this kind of sums up what we're talking about here. It's a guy by the name of Roger Sperry. Roger Sperry was a doctor of physical medicine. He did research on the brain, the cerebral hemispheres. This is back in the early 80s, late 70s. And he won a Nobel Prize for his work. But his conclusion in his research with the brain, came up with this. Better than 90% of the brain's output is directed toward maintaining your body in its gravitational field. Therefore, the less energy one spends on one's posture, the more energy is available for healing, digestion, and thinking. This is it in a nutshell right here. Does this make sense? Your brain is constantly on alert. Even when you're sleeping, it's on alert. You don't even know it, but it's on alert all the time. When you are standing right now, I'm sitting here talking to you guys, but my brain unconsciously is monitoring how I'm standing. So, the worse alignment I have in terms of my standing, the more it has to monitor, and it takes away from everything else. The better your alignment is, the less your brain has to work on monitoring your body, and so it can work and focus on other things. Chronic fatigue, fibromyalgia, I don't care what label you give people, your posture has everything to do with it. And it's such an underrated and underestimated aspect of healthcare. It's glossed over. It's glossed over. I have discussions with doctors all the time. And it just glosses over. Posture, yeah, it's important, but who cares? Consequently, I don't have many conversations with doctors anymore. No disrespect. They don't learn physics either. Right? Better than 90% of the brain's output is directed toward maintaining your body in its gravitational field. Therefore, the less energy one spends on one's posture, the more energy is available for healing, digestion, and thinking.